everyone! Any Ninja Gaiden fan knows that the combat is a brutal ballet where every move counts. With the arrival of Ninja Gaiden 4, the new protagonist, Yakumo, brought a refreshed arsenal of techniques to this arena of death and dismemberment. But let's be frank, not everything the game offers holds the same weight when it comes to surviving the most insane encounters. Today we're diving deep into the skill system of NG4. I've separated the 7 techniques that, in my opinion and based on hours of frame-by-frame analysis, truly define the battlefield. It's not about which is the most beautiful, but rather which offers the best invincibility window, the highest area damage, or the most critical utility for keeping your karma score high. Get ready for the most controversial and efficiency-focused ranking. We'll go from the most disappointing technique to the one that, when mastered, transforms you into the ultimate killing machine. The perfect dash with dodge is one of the abilities that most reflects the refined spirit of Ninja Gaiden 4, rewarding perfection in timing and enemy reading. When mastered, it is not just a means of escaping danger, but a declaration of absolute control. Executing the dash at the exact moment the enemy strike arrives transforms defense into offense. A lethal dance that makes the player feel like a true master. The feeling of executing a perfect dash is indescribable. There is an instant of suspense, a fraction of a second between the imminent impact and the perfect evasion. And when the character slides with impeccable fluidity, the world seems to stop. This is the type of mechanic that connects player and character, where every movement becomes an extension of instinct. But it's not an easy technique. Many novice players fail when trying to synchronize the dash at the right moment, paying with their own health bar. It is a learning based on pain and repetition, just like the ancient ninjas who trained to exhaustion. Every mistake teaches the enemy's timing, and every hit awakens a satisfaction that few games can reproduce. Moreover, Ninja Gaiden 4 managed to refine this ability with short but precise invincibility frames, forcing the player to rely on reflexes and not on luck. It is an ability that transforms combat into a deadly ballet, a spectacle where rhythm and blood coexist. In the end, mastering the perfect dash is when you stop playing Ninja Gaiden and start feeling it. The flying swallow is pure style, the essence of ninja agility. No other technique captures so well the feeling of cutting the air towards a distant enemy, tearing the silence with a quick and precise blow. This movement is a blend of brutality and elegance that has been part of the series' soul since the classic times. The sound impact, the arc of movement, and the fluidity with which the strike connects make it an attack the player never tires of using. In Ninja Gaiden 4, the enhanced version allows hitting multiple enemies along the way, which creates a cinematic feeling, as if each jump were a choreographed action scene. There is also something very symbolic in the name Flying Swallow. The swallow is fast, unpredictable, and free, and that is exactly what the movement conveys: offensive freedom. When the player masters the right time to execute it, especially amidst the chaos of enemy hordes, the result is an almost poetic sequence of precision and fury. However, the flying swallow also carries risks. If used without awareness of the enemy's position, it can leave you vulnerable upon landing, which reinforces that cycle of risk and reward that defines Ninja Gaiden. It teaches the player that daring is good, but only when accompanied by discipline. Using the flying swallow well is understanding that the true ninja does not attack on impulse. He waits for the right moment to deliver the blow that cuts through time. The Izuna Drop is more than a strike. It is a symbol of the series. When you grab the enemy, spin in a spiral, and violently slam them against the ground, the impact is so satisfying that the player almost feels the impact in their own fingers. It is the protagonist's signature as a spectacle of power and technique. What makes the Izuna Drop so iconic is its balance between beauty and brutality. It is an attack that begins with an aerial dance but ends with pure destruction. During execution, the player has invincibility frames, which transforms this ability into both an offensive and defensive tool. A visual pause in the frenzy of battle where style and survival unite. Every time the Izuna Drop is executed with mastery, it's like mastering a martial art within a game. It represents the culmination of combat learning, understanding the space, time, and weight of each enemy. In the early chapters, performing it is a challenge. Later, it becomes a natural reflex, an instinct born from continuous practice. And the interesting thing is that Ninja Gaiden 4 enhanced its animation and physics, making the impact even more visceral. The dry sound of the body hitting the ground and the clear particle shine of the impact reinforced the feeling of absolute power. No other movement translates so well a ninja's total dominance over the battlefield. The Izuna Drop is the moment when the player stops just fighting. He commands respect. It is the blow that makes the enemy remember, even for a second, that they faced a true master. The Takeminakata is one of the most emblematic weapons in Ninja Gaiden 4, wielded by Yakumo, the heir of the Crow clan. Its twin blades bear the mark of the curse, and each strike seems to vibrate with the echo of previous enemies' blood. Playing with them is not just fighting. It's dealing with a living, almost animalistic force that reacts to the rhythm of combat. There is something hypnotic in the fluidity of the Takeminakata. The dual blades invite the player to enter a state of flow, where attack and defense blend into continuous movements. In their normal form, they offer perfect balance. But upon activating the cursed mode, the fusion of the two into an extended Tachi sword gives the combat an almost poetic intensity. It is disciplined chaos in the form of steel. Each battle reveals a new facet of these blades. Using the Takeminakata is not just about mastering combos. It's about understanding the spiritual weight of the soul that forged them. Every cut is a reminder of the curse that strengthens them, that of consuming life to maintain power. And visually, it's impossible to ignore the detail. The blades glow in a shadowy blue adorned like crow feathers, a touch that directly connects Yakumo to his dark lineage and the duality between elegance and destruction. The Takeminakata is, in essence, the representation of what Ninja Gaiden 4 does best, transforming pain and discipline into lethal art. The blood-binding ninjutsu is one of the most intense abilities the game presents. It is the personification of the pact between blood and power, a secret technique of the Crow clan that transforms the vital energy of enemies into fuel to amplify the potential of the cursed weapons. Utilizing this ninjutsu is entering a ritual of calculated violence. With each defeated enemy, their blood is absorbed by the blades, altering their shape, glow, and behavior. The player literally feels the battlefield transform around them. As strikes become heavier, animations more visceral, and enemies more desperate. There is a grotesque beauty in how this mechanic encourages aggressive combat. Ninja Gaiden 4 makes you understand that surviving means attacking, that blood is both your biggest risk and your greatest weapon. The sound of the blood binding flow activates like a living pulsation, creating that kind of raw immersion that only Team Ninja knows how to deliver. This ability also has an emotional background. The binding is not just physical, but symbolic. The link between Yakumo and his ancestors from the Crow clan, who believed in sacrifice as a source of power. Playing with this ninjutsu is embracing this legacy, with all the glory and curse it brings. The blood-binding ninjutsu is not just a technique, it is a philosophy. A reminder that power and destruction almost always go hand in hand. The Bloodraven form is the spiritual and technical heart of Yakumo's style. It is a transformation where the character channels the accumulated blood in combat to amplify speed, range, and destructive power, completely altering the rhythm of the fight. When activated, the scenery changes tone, the sound deforms, movement gains supernatural fluidity, and every strike cuts the air with a ferocity almost impossible to control. This transformation is a mix of precision and savagery. The player literally feels the blood bubbling on the screen. Mastering the Bloodraven form requires a dance between aggression and control. Each attack consumes energy from the bar, and using it thoughtlessly is an invitation to death. But those who learn to manage it discover an almost transcendental experience. Combat turns into choreography, and every defeated enemy becomes part of a performance of destruction. The design of this form is one of the most striking things about the game. Yakumo gains ethereal traits with his blades emitting a scarlet aura that resembles crow wings in motion. It is a moment when player and character seem to merge, both in rhythm and intention. The Bloodraven form is the pinnacle of Yakumo's evolution. Not just a power mechanic, but the materialization of the fury, discipline, and legacy of his clan. The Gleam Form, also called the True Dragon's Glow, is the height of Ryu Hayabusa's power in Ninja Gaiden 4. This transformation entirely unleashes the potential of the Dragon Sword, and for the first time, the player feels what it's like to be a super ninja in total self-mastery. Activating this form is witnessing the incarnation of the legend. Ryu glows in golden and red tones while his attacks become fast and devastating, filling the screen with energy trails. It is a visual and emotional representation of what the series always wanted to convey: pure power in the hands of those who earned it through pain and honor. In gameplay, The Gleam Form offers temporary invincibility and strikes that resemble the ultimate techniques of previous installments, now with automatic chaining and total control over the combat flow. Every movement sounds like the roar of a dragon, majestic, inevitable, and final. But there is something even more interesting about this ability. It is the direct counterpoint to the Bloodraven form. Where Yakumo is disciplined chaos, Ryu is divine perfection. They are two different spiritual paths within the same universe, that of blood and that of light. In the end, the Gleam Form is more than a state of power. It is the moment when the player feels they master the very essence of the Ninja Gaiden series. The peak of the technique, respect, and fury that molded Ryu Hayabusa into the myth that he is.
Last one. Nice work.